Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you and peace out. The rest of you hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. I want to thank the last three Cash App donors, same as my last upload, same names. From the bottom of my black heart and from the depths of my black mind. So I'm focusing on deception in this case because that's one of the signs that somebody wants to harm you. Now, people can deceive for many reasons. They can deceive to protect their own privacy, to protect someone else's privacy, um, to protect themselves, or to harm. These are the reasons, generally speaking, for deception. It's either to protect something or to harm uh, someone else. Now, I want you to stop and think about what that means. This means we're seen as harmful. That's what that tells you. We are seen as being a harm. We're not being deceived because we're harmful or because we're a threat. But we're treated that way unless you understand that the motive is not to protect themselves from us harming them, but that the motive is actually to harm us. Now, in all honesty, Shahrazad Ali did not surprise me. Negatively or positively, she didn't surprise me. Likewise, she wasn't the first or the last. She will not be. Every lady starts off neutral with me, but I'm not caught off guard, really. I'm not caught off guard when any of them do or say something. And the thing is that when she said that Kevin Samuels agreed with her, that's not really what was a shock to me. What was a shock to me was something else. It was when she laughed as she said he upped and died. So I guess that wasn't meant to be. Now, granted, neither of these were untrue statements. He died when they were planning on working together. I guess she says it. And also uh, that he agreed with her, but she did precede him in any arena in which the manosphere talking points were talking points. So that's technically true. Lying was not necessary for her to come off as disrespectful. There is I won't dwell on that too much. I just wanted to say that the ones we're seeing now, whether they are simply falling short of advocating for us the way we would advocate for our own interests, which is to be expected, or if they turn out to be outright chameleons, the way that Melanie King is undisputably so. Neither one has been the first. We don't even know who that is, nor will they be the last, and we don't know who that will be. You can argue as to how far Shahrazad Ali went and what malice she actually had and how much harm she actually meant. You can argue the same thing about Jeannie Mai. Does she really mean harm? I don't think she does, but she's never really had a chance. She's been through too much. With if she was a full on chameleon, and Jeezy was just a buzzer beater that satisfied her hypergamy as well, she still ain't the first or the last. It doesn't really matter too much, but there is one thing going on. She does understand the importance of keeping that family together. She's fighting for that. Sisters would not do that even for Jeezy, unless, of course, maybe it's because of the prenup. Maybe that's it. We could speculate all day. Let me tell you what we do know is going on. Right now, that which overshadows it. You can debate the intentions of Jeannie Mai versus what she just actually knows and her actual capability and capacity. You can debate the intentions of Shahrazad Ali. You can't debate the intentions of Sun-Kissed Skin. That is actually her Instagram handle. So I'm not making this up. You can't debate that. When I tell you what she said, you'll understand. Lina MGTOW covered her Instagram post, and so too did Crimson Cure. Shouts out to them for covering this. Some others did too, and I forgot exactly who they were, but Sun-Kissed Skin said that black women need to start falsely accusing black men of the struggle snuggle. She said that white women have been doing it and they've been making a pretty penny off of this for years. It's time for sisters to do so, because if they can't make the coin through marriage, they might as well make it through the court. This is her tweet. Her Instagram post. I shared a screenshot of it in a private Telegram group. She told black women to start targeting black men for false accusations, and she covered it up under materialism. Now, that motive is not debatable. Here's why. Neither black men nor black women walk around believing that we on average make more money than white men, so that's not the reason. If that was purely materialistic and opportunistic, she would have said accuse white men of this. She didn't. She would have said maybe even accuse Asian men because of the perception, at least, that they are the model minority and will make more money, and because of stats that say that on average they can make more money. Okay, so what's going on? It's a hatred. She's telling sisters to deceive the world, not just the courts, but the world. Materialism is a part of it. Otherwise, she would have simply said, get them locked up. She would have said, criminally accuse them, not civilly. But, the false accusations, she didn't even say civilly. No, she understands. She gets it. If we're dusty, we ain't walking around with all that money. So where does this come from? Hatred, anger, nothing else. She wants us to be miserable. She wants us to be isolated and untrusted by everybody else. She wants to deceive not only us about ourselves, but the rest of the world about us. Now let's look further. This is where it comes in. Terrell Owens talked to Chad Ochocinco, and Mr. Fantastic covered that, and I haven't finished listening, but shout out to Mr. Fantastic as well for this. A card-carrying lifetime dues paid-up member of the Dark Skin Club. In his own words, he said this. I'm tipping my hat to him in the compliment. What he heard sisters sang from a young age up until recently about blackity black this and big nose this and big lip that is a corollary. It's a counterpart to what I later heard as an adult, not so much as a kid, but as an adult, what I later was told. First in 2001, blatantly. So, I mean, there was some women that would say things like, individually, they might say that I was too pale for their taste, things like that, or they didn't trust light skinned guys. But you know what? In 2001, I think her name was Rebecca. I heard for the first time that sisters were not going to treat me equally based on this. And I realized I was late. I can remember that I was later able to confirm it because I did mention that someone actually told me this. And some sisters would be nodding their heads like, okay, so he knows the cat's out the bag. The reaction I got was that, okay, since I know the cat's out the bag, there's no use in trying to hide it from me. That's what the reaction was. See, once I stated that I was told this, nobody tried to gaslight me anymore. It was 2017 before another sister tried to gaslight me. Then she tried to turn to a lady, a friend of my current wife, and ask her one day, not knowing that I was in discussion with my current wife about marriage, tried to ask her one day. She turned to her and said, "Is Black over here too light skinned?" And she said, "Yeah, he is." She said that. The lady that said, "Yes, I am," is now, well, I mean, she's a friend of my wife. She's traveled with us before. That's the sister from Philadelphia. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. I wasn't supposed to know. But she didn't mind saying this, even though I found out later she was married to an Eastern European guy. Yeah, the same sister that said, "Yeah, black mine is too pale." Was married to an Eastern European. I am definitely darker than an Eastern European. That's clear. Ain't a terribly wide margin this time of year, but it's there. What I'm telling you is that they've been involved in acts of deception of both of us. And let's say that Mr. Fantastic and I represent two opposite ends of the same spectrum, which we do. What does this tell you? They were busy deceiving me and they were busy deceiving him. They were busy trying to get each of us to either surmise or falsely think consciously that we were undesired, period. That not only did sisters not want us, but that no women should want us. In my case, because I wasn't black enough. And in their case, because he was too black. That's what they were doing. But the thing is, of course, there's individual preference. I get that. But what happens when they're doing this in mass? In my case, trying to practice a double deception. First, by not telling me that they were never going to treat me equally because of this. And then later on, some of them trying to gaslight me into thinking that I was making it up, imagining it, and trying to deceive him into thinking that nobody would actually prefer him because of this. And then he finds out that the red bones of whom they were jealous will be the first ones to say, "What's happening? What that ding-a-ling do? What them lips do? What them hugs do?" You get it? Sisters were out trying to deceive each of us into thinking that nobody else even should. If they didn't prefer us, and nobody with options would, nor should they. And it's bad. You know what makes it worse? When I got a good job for the first time as an adult, I remember working it, doing well, earning compliments because I knew that I had to learn it quickly. I knew this. And the other brother at the job was the salesman. Without him, we didn't have work. Let me tell you, when they laid off everybody a month after Obama won the re-election, he and I were definitely included in that. And before that point, they had been trying to set him up anyway. They took him off of sales where he was an expert generating work for everybody else and put him into another position where he was new and then told him it wasn't fast enough. You understand? I knew that we were facing discrimination when I called my wife at that time, and told her that we'd just been laid off and I was on my way back into Atlanta. She said, "Well, I thought you said that they liked your work." And I told her they did say that. And they seem to have liked it too. But I remember saying to her, lately, they've been making more openly biased statements, mostly about politicians, though. When they decided they just didn't need as much work, of course, they were going to bring me and the other brother in the room. And she said to me, "Well, actually, you were just lucky you ever got that job to begin with. You didn't really deserve it." She said that. I didn't believe that I didn't, but I did believe that she really believed it. So I didn't think of it as a deception. Now I understand that she didn't really believe that herself. Maybe she did, but she didn't believe that they believed it. And I don't think she believed it. She did not want me to not take the blame for getting laid off. She wanted me to take the blame for it so that it would be easier for her to put the blame on me, when the fact was that of the multiple times I've been laid off, I did not provoke it. There was one time I was selected for layoffs that were going to happen anyway, but I was selected because of my temper. But the truth be told, they would have done it anyway. In any case, I wanted you to know that most of what they tell us is deception, down to the small details. They are not protecting anything from us. That means that they're doing it to harm us. And this is why I tell you that it's war. If you choose to use another word instead of war, that's fine, but I tell you that it is war for these reasons. I wanted, and I'm going over this again now so that you can see more evidence that at the very least, even if my vocabulary is wrong and calling it war, I want you to know that I'm not making up what I say. I'm still surprised 3 years after I started calling it this, but I'm not making it up. It's open and obvious and plain to me to see. I'm looking it right in the face. War is deception. Conversely, that means that deception is a sign of war. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know who you are, black man. And I'm not sitting up telling you that you are God. You are not. Absolutely not. They don't want you to know who you are just in terms of your innocence. That they are hiding from you. Your very innocence, they hide from you. They don't seek only to deceive others, but to deceive you, not only about them, but to deceive you even about yourself. That's when you know it's war. Fight to win. Thank you for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, black out, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual, non-select male power just because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day. Thank you for flying again with me on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with me until the wings and the wheels fall off this mother cuss word. Gender, justice, forever.